Good morning. Welcome to our project design and plan presentation. We are Team to be or not to be, and our project is BudgetBites, a meal planning application for college students. The purpose of this project is to help students plan meals that are affordable, realistic, and easy to prepare. First, I will make a brief introduction to our team roles. I'm Qiyu, the product manager. I'm responsible for the product idea and product vision. Michael is the Scrum Master. He is responsible for the product backlog and the GitHub project board. Kezia and Ivan are development team members. Their work focuses on implementing feature, testing, and documentation. In this presentation, we'll talk about the project idea, the languages and tools we plan to use, the architectural design, user stories, the product backlog, the Sprint 1 backlog, and our issues and next steps. The problem we are addressing is simple but quite important. Many college students have financial pressure. They may also have busy schedules, limited cooking experience, and trouble making affordable food choices. Because of these problems, students may spend too much money on food, skip meals, rely on quick food options, or choose food that is not practical for their budget. Our proposed solution is BudgetBites. The application helps students create a meal plan based on their weekly food budgets and basic food preferences. Instead of searching through many recipes and calculating grocery costs manually, students can use this one tool to organize their meal planning process. The user will be able to enter a weekly budget, dietary preferences, and allergies or foods they want to avoid. Based on this information, BudgetBites will recommend simple and low-cost meals. It will also generate a grocery list and show estimated cost. This gives users a clear view of what they need to buy and whether the plan fits their budget. The value of BudgetBites is that it focuses on student life. Unlike generic recipe websites or calorie tracking apps, BudgetBites focuses on affordability, simplicity, and student life. Our goal is not to make a complicated food app. Our goal is to make meal planning easier and more useful for college students. Overall, BudgetBites addresses a real student problem, has clear users, and has a practical software solution.
Now I will be going over the languages and tools our team plans to use for BudgetBites. Our main programming language will be C++. We chose C++ because our team is already familiar with it, and it provides all functionality we need for this project. For the user interface, we will be using Qt. Qt works well with C++ and allows us to create a cleaner and more professional desktop application interface for users. We will also use SQLite as our local relational database. SQLite is a lightweight and file-based, which makes it a good fit for desktop applications like BudgetBites. To interact with the database, we will use SQL for creating and reading, updating, and deleting data, such as user preferences, meal plans, and recipes. For collaboration and version control, we will use GitHub for our team, so our team can manage source code and work together more efficiently. Finally, we will use CLion as our development environment because it supports building, debugging, and testing our application all in one place. For our software architecture, BudgetBites will use a layered architecture plan. This architecture organizes the system into separate layers, which helps keep the project more structured and easier to maintain. The first layer is the presentation layer, which includes the screen and forms users interact with, such as login pages, budget inputs, meal plans, and grocery lists. Next is the application or service layer. This layer handles user requests, such as generating a meal plan based on the user's preferences and budget. Then we have the budget logic layer, which is where the main decision making happens, including recipe recommendations, allergy filtering, and budget checks. Finally, the database layer stores important information like recipes, user profiles, and saved preferences. We believe this architecture fits our project well because BudgetBites contain several connected features that all need to work together smoothly. A layered architecture also makes future updating easier. For example, the team could redesign the user interface without changing the recipe database or the application logic.
So this slide kind of breaks down budget bytes into its main components. We started with the account and profile section, and this kind of just lets the user create an account and save their information. We then have the preference engine, and this is where users can enter things like their budget, dietary restriction, any allergies, cooking equipment, or ingredients that they already have. The recipe catalog stores all of our recipes and the informations about them, such as ingredients, instructions, any dietary tags. The meal planner is really the kind of the core of the application because it uses all the user's preferences to create a personalized meal plan. We also have a budget engine, and that kind of estimates the grocery costs and makes sure that the user stays within their budget. Lastly, is the grocery list generator, and this kind of combines all the ingredients from the meal plan into one shopping list, and this kind of makes shopping a little bit easier for the user, and it lets them know exactly what they need to buy. So for this slide, we picked a few user stories that show the main purpose of our app. So first, obviously, the user creates an account and they save their information. They could then enter in a budget. And the purpose for this was because we knew college students were trying to save money. Next is allergy restrictions and any dietary restrictions. And this is so we don't recommend them any meals that they can't eat. Lastly is the grocery list generator. And well, the app automatically creates a grocery list, and this kind of makes shopping, like I said, a little bit more easier for the user. And at the bottom is our story map, and this kind of shows the typical flow of our app. Users are able to create a profile and enter in their preferences. It then generates a meal plan, and afterwards they're able to review the grocery list and the budget. And if they want to make any changes, they can make adjustments in the settings.
This is our product backlog with planning poker estimations. This shows the full scope of work for BudgetBites, organized and prioritized using planning poker, an agile estimation technique where the team collectively assigns story points to each feature. The backlog is broken into 7 feature areas ranked by point total. Higher the points equals the more complexity. The user experience design, which is designed 32 points. Meal planning is designed 31 points. They're the most complex, sitting at the top. Infrastructure, 7 points, is the lightest lift. The right side calls out the highest priority items for early sprints. Things like user registration, login, budget entry, dietary preferences, and building the core recipe database. Alongside later phase features like grocery store preferences and list sharing, this tells stakeholders what ships first and what comes later. This is Sprint 1 backlog with estimations. This slide zooms into Sprint 1 specifically, showing exactly what the team is committed to, how many points each task is worth, and who owns it. Evan handles all the account authority work, register, login, logout. Chiyu owns budget, dietary preferences, and the recipe database. Kezia tackles food allergy entry. Myself, Michael, I cover input validation, security, and GitHub project board upkeep. The sprint totals 34 story points and is focused on 3 pillars: account and profile, recipe database, and infrastructure, which is the foundational layer of everything else will be built on. This addresses the project risk management plan, known challenges, and how the team plans to handle them. You can see one risk would be grocery prices fluctuate. Our mitigation is to show estimated price ranges instead of exact prices. A second risk is bad or incomplete user input. Our mitigation for that is input validation plus easy editing. Third risk would be limited recipe database. Mitigation would be to continuously expand and rotate recommendations. Last risk would be users may not cook well. Our mitigation for that would be to prioritize beginner friendly step by step recipes. Um, it closes with the next backlog priorities, generating meal plans and grocery lists, enforcing budget guardrails during plan generation, and implementing the full user interface. This will show that the team has thought ahead about both technical and user experience challenges. Thank you very much, for considering our project. I'm sure Chiyu would like to have the last words, and maybe explain um, his gratitude for you considering our project. Chiyu.
Okay, that's our plan presentation. Uh, I hope BudgetBites as a meal planning application for college students is a great choice, and we will implement features about this application in the future. Thank you.